Let's dive into this saga involving Pippa Middleton and her husband's birthday bash that really stirred things up in Berkshire.
I'm intrigued. This party sounds like it had all the bells and whistles.
Absolutely. The event was over the top, with a Formula One theme. And get this, they even had Spitfire fighter planes flying overhead.
Got it.
It was a spectacle aiming to honor her husband James Matthews' milestone.
Wow, Spitfire planes? That's like taking a piece of history and turning it into a birthday card.
Exactly. And the party wasn't just about flash. It also had a serious impact on the neighbors at Buckleberry Farm. The noise lasted until nearly 1:30 a.m., and many felt, quite disrespected by the disruption.
Right, So let me get this straight. Not only was there an extravagant display in the sky, but the party's soundtrack practically invaded the neighborhood's peace?
Yep, that's it. Neighbors, who are used to a quiet life, were not happy at all, feeling that Pippa and James were, showing a strong sense of entitlement.
Yeah, exactly.
One neighbor even mentioned, kind of incredulously, that they could have simply opted for a silent disco instead.
A silent disco, really? That's an interesting alternative. Kind of like, keeping the vibe without bothering anyone.
Right, it's like, mixing high-energy celebrations with a whisper instead of a roar, but clearly that option wasn't on the table. Now add to that the guest list, and we're talking heavyweight names like Christian Horner from F1, Gary Halliwell, and even members of the royal family circle.
That's quite the medical mix. It sure seems like the event blended the glamorous with the, controversial. But doesn't it seem a bit, over the top to everyone outside?
Definitely. That over-the-top nature of the celebration isn't new. They've had run-ins with the neighbors before. Back in 2020, after they fenced off some formerly public land near the estate, locals felt pretty cut off from what used to be a shared amenity.
Right, indeed. So you could say this isn't just a one-off extravaganza, but sort of a recurring narrative of exclusivity and, disregard for communal space?
Exactly. It's like they're living in their own bubble of opulence. And the whole idea of privatizing what was, well, once a village path really doesn't sit well with the locals who have been enjoying it for decades.
Yeah, I see that. But I wonder, isn't it kind of, expecting too much from neighbors to adapt when you're throwing such a massive bash?
That's a good point, but the counter-argument is that community respect goes both ways. You can have a lavish party, but it shouldn't come at the expense of the neighborhood's peace. Plus, it's not just the noise. It's also a statement of pushing aside long-held communal access.
Absolutely. Wow, it really seems like a clash between high society celebration and the quiet expectations of a community, and it's a reminder that even lavish lifestyles must navigate shared spaces, right?
Yes, exactly. At the end of the day, it's a mix of opulence meeting communal rights and the inevitable neighbor drama that comes with, a little bit too much extravagance.
Indeed. That definitely gives us something to chew on. A reminder that no matter how grand the celebration, respect for others is key.
Right on. Interesting how a birthday party can spark so many debates about entitlement, privacy, and shared community values.